Today we're covering the Sigma 24-70 F2.8, and because our attention spans are all ruined anyway, let's keep with the same quick pace style of review that I did before. Quicker is better in most cases. This is a Sigma art lens, which means it's designed and built very well. You can honestly compare it to any of Sony's GM lenses. The filter thread of this guy is big. It is a massive 82 millimeters. I didn't have any filters big enough to protect this lens, so the Polar Pro Defender came in useful once again. Just keeps the lens nice and protected. It is obviously a zoom lens going from 24 to 70. There's two rings on here. The ring at the back controls your zoom. Turn it to the left and it zooms in. Turn it to the right and it zooms back out. Obviously the barrel does extend there. It makes this interesting noise too. There is a lock button on the side there, which allows you to lock it at 24. However, the slightest turn will disengage that lock and allow you to continue to use the lens further than 24. The front ring is for your focusing and it is incredibly loose. I don't know if it's just this model. If you have one as well, let me know down below if yours is just as loose, but I don't know if I like it being quite as loose as it is. Now, it is a focus by wire lens, meaning that it should suffer from focus acceleration, but genuinely, you don't really encounter any acceleration. In all the tests that I performed, I couldn't get it to accelerate anything like any of the other Sigma lenses that I've used before. So I guess that's a good thing. I will say, however, that because the focus ring is so loose, I kept overshooting my focus point when I was manually focusing. It really is that loose. Again, don't know if it's just this model, but it's something to be aware of. It has a manual focus, autofocus switch on the side and a button, much like most GM lenses have. You can assign that button to whatever you like. Two common uses, things that I use it for, are focus hold and for engaging eye autofocus. The lens is actually quite a bit smaller than I thought it would be when it's compressed. Here it is compared to the Sony 24mm G Master. You'll see what I mean, it's not that much bigger than it. Although it's not a huge lens, it's a pretty hefty lens. It's got a solid weight to it, which makes it good for being a doorstop. At the time of me making this video, the lens cost $1,099 US on B&H. If you live in Canada like me, you get ruined by the exchange rate. It's 1,600 Canadian plus tax. I think a direct comparison to this lens will be the Sony 24-70 GM F2.8, which comes in at 2,200 US. However, I think a more comparative lens because of price is the Tamron 28-75 F2.8, which comes in at 880 US. Those lenses are much closer in price, so that's what I believe is more of a comparison than the GM is. I value the Sigma 24-70 way more than the Tamron 28-75 because to me, 28 just isn't wide enough, whereas 24 is totally usable as a wide angle. Also, I don't believe that anyone really needs the difference between 70 to 75. So for me, the Sigma is a much more versatile lens. Now, the 24-70 is always going to be a really popular lens for a mass of different things. It has such a varied focal length. Whatever you want to shoot, both for photo and video, you can use this lens for that. This lens is going to be great on a gimbal as well. You can balance it somewhere in the middle, probably around 45. Then the gimbal will counteract any little imbalances if you want to zoom in or zoom out. Sometimes having a slightly tighter angle on a gimbal can be really nice, but then being able to punch back out and have that wide angle again, all without changing the lens, is really useful. If you like to shoot in crop mode for video, maybe not for photo because you do lose megapixels, but using this in crop mode for video takes it from being a 70 to the equivalent of a 105mm. So when I say this is a really versatile lens, it genuinely is a really versatile lens. For an all-round versatile lens, this is probably one of the best budget options you can get while keeping that f2.8. If you're like me and you value 24 more than you do 28, otherwise, you probably just want to go with a Tamron. Sigma has been doing some amazing things recently with their glass. I've tested a lot of their newer lenses and they're all impeccably sharp. You will not be disappointed by the sharpness of this lens. You want to see how sharp it is, right? I knew you did. There you go. Distortion at 24mm is pretty obvious, quite horrendous actually, but it can be quickly corrected in Lightroom. The bokeh, whatever you want to call it, it renders really nicely. Here is some pictures of some balls. Bokeh balls. The autofocus speed is quick and tracks well. It's much like any of the other Sigma lenses I've tried recently. It's not Sony quick, but it's still fast and impressive for a third-party lens. At 70mm, I found the autofocus a little bit slower than it was at 24. Is it hugely different? No. Is it obvious? Yeah, it is. I purposely underexposed this shot here just to see how the autofocus would handle in a lower light environment, and you did a good job, didn't you, buddy? Well done. Quickly, let's go back to that portrait I took that I was showing you my eye just to show you how sharp it was. This image is straight from the camera. I didn't do any editing on this. You know when an image just looks really nice, you can't put your finger on why, but it just looks nice straight out the camera and the lens is the reason for that? Yeah, that's how I felt about this lens. So in terms of a high-level quick review, that was it. Take a breather. Now let's cover some more practical uses of things I actually use this lens for. This time around I decided to shoot more for video than I did for photo. I typically like to shoot with primes more than I do with a zoom lens like this. So this was a new experience for me. I shot this little video which I'm going to show you. If you're a subscriber to this channel, first thank you, but you probably already have seen this. Just want to show you what's possible with this lens, how certain things look, using it at different focal lengths, all that kind of stuff. So let's play the video. We tend to trundle through life, expecting things to transpire, awaiting different results, but we do the same thing over and over. I've been starting to feel like that with videos, boxed in, if you will, and I don't like it. I have so many ideas for videos that are different from what I normally do, videos that I really want to make, but I feel like I'm niched in to the point that they just won't do well. But this year I'm going to start making some of those films, starting with this one. I think this scenario doesn't just affect creators, it affects us all. Can you see yourself doing exactly what you're doing day in, day out, right now, today, yesterday? Can you do that forever? I don't think this answer should ever be yes. To grow as a person, as a creator, we have to embrace change. It's important. It's necessary. It's starting to become clear that avoiding change, playing it safe, doing the same thing, leads down one road. Burnout. A little change might lead the way. This is for me and the other creators out there. Go out and create more of what you want to make. Get back to the roots of why we started in the beginning. You should be enjoying this craft, this hobby, this profession, whatever it is for you. Enjoy it. Force that change. I also use this lens for some client work that I've just started at a kickboxing gym. It was nice to have a variety of focal lengths and be able to zoom in and out without having to change around lenses and still have a relatively nice shallow depth of field at F2.8. Both on a gimbal and off the gimbal handheld, I was genuinely impressed by how some of this video looks.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression. It's all that I wanted. The phone and affection. And something in double. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something.
I did use this lens mostly for video, but I shot a few photos as well. Here they are now. So this lens is literally for anybody. It's going to be a staple for any portrait photographer, wedding photographer, if you shoot wedding video, landscape photos. It's an f2.8, so you can actually use it for astro as well. As a travel lens, for vlogging, all those things, it's going to work great. The only things I'd say this lens probably isn't great for is going to be wildlife and sports, because you typically want a larger telephoto lens, unless you can deal with 105 in crop mode. So there we go, that is the Sigma 24-70 f2.8, an extremely versatile lens. I think that's like the 5th time I've said versatile in this video. It's a very well-suited lens for a variety of different things. If you are interested in picking this lens up, I'll obviously pop a link down below for you. You can go ahead and click those buttons down below as well if you want to. I'm not gonna force you, but it's appreciated if you do. I think that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later. How much does it bother you that one of these is a little bit shorter than the other one? I'm just going to leave it right like that. See how many people that bothers. You can't see now, but I got a table right here. Before it was a lot lower, so I'd have to bend down and pick things up, and don't have to anymore. I can pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. Don't have to bend down, pick it up, and put it down. I can just pick it up, put it down. It's the same table as before, to be honest. I just got these little leg extenders, and they put it up 12 inches. Probably the best $20 I've spent on Amazon. $20 or $400 for a new table desk that goes up and down. I'll take the $20 leg extensions. Link in description.